Are we rolling? So hi, my name is Erica Groats. I'm here with the Patch Man today, my father. We're here to answer a few questions for you guys and spread some cheer during this whole COVID-19. We do want to give a quick message to those who unfortunately didn't get to march this season. I hope that you guys will be able to get to do something next summer with Drum Corps for your age out and such. And our hearts really go out to you because the Patch Man can't come and see your awesome show this year. So when did you first get involved with DCI and how?
I got involved in 1975 from a family that had 4 boys and 3 girls, and the town I live in was Syracuse. We moved there in 1967 from Illinois and didn't know there was a drum corps, and then my neighbor tried to get me to join, but I didn't think it was nothing more than playing in clubs and VFWs, and I didn't want to do that. So then that was 67, and then in 75, the Snyders was their name. They got me involved. The oldest boy, when the Wawasee Warriors folded back in 1970, they were only around for 3 years competing. But when they folded, the boys went to Cavies and the girls went to Maple City Cadets. But then in 75, the oldest boy graduated in 74 from Cavies, 21 age out. He decided to restart the Wawasee Warriors, so
As a senior corps, right?
as
Or
a
tried
junior,
to do a senior corps.
Well, it was a junior corps at first. So we tried to attempt to restart it, and we got 30 members, and we were able to do a parade corps, but we never got on the field.
Now the Warriors were competitive for a couple years as a senior corps, like 2 years or so, right? They were listed as Wawasee Warriors Senior.
Back in 78 then, well, they only went for 2 years, 75, 76. Then they stopped, and then in 78 they tried to start it up but do it as a senior corps. So I joined the senior corps, Wawasee Warriors, but we ended up just doing parades that summer. And then after that, that was it. And then they tried one more time in 1981 to restart up, and all we did was parades that year. And they tried to restart as a junior corps, but it never really got off the ground to doing parades. So that was pretty much the end of the Wawasee Warriors. But in the meantime, I started collecting patches in 1979, and I loved every drum corps I saw, every junior corps, every big corps. The Snyders took me to the first. It was like a standstill inside a round barn back in 75, and all these corps from Michigan, Illinois, and Wisconsin, and I think Maple City from Indiana came, and they all played their music, and they got on the stage, which was revolving in a circle, and so I got to hear all the music, and I was so enthused I couldn't wait to see what a field show looked like. And so the first show I went to was the Cavaliers show in Des Plaines, Illinois, and after I saw that first show, I never wanted nothing more with marching band ever again.
You wanted
even
just,
though I
just
loved
drum
it in
corps.
high school.
So what were your first few patches?
My first 3 patches was Cavaliers, Madison Scouts, and Phantom Regiment, and from that moment on, I started it on a jean jacket, and I went from a jean jacket to a lab coat. And now I'm starting to put patches on the inside because I ran out of room. But I try to get one from everybody. Some of them have patches every year from their show. And I bought in those show patches, but I have a collection of show patches. But I want one patch from every drum corps.
That has their name on it.
With their name on it. And then I have all the championships of DCI on my right arm, and on my left arm I have all the adults that I've seen. And so I've been collecting all these years, and I've had groups as far away as Japan that actually, they love my coat so much they took one of the patches off their uniform and gave it to me to put on my coat and said, "You don't owe me no money, we just want to see it on your jacket." And so I put it on my jacket. And
Nice. So we know you love all the drum corps, but do you have any favorites? Do you look forward to seeing any corps?
Well,
Are there certain corps that you just have a connection with?
Phantom Regiment was the first and foremost my favorite because of all the classical music that they played in the early years from 75 to like 80, something like that. And then I got, one of the Snyders got me hooked up with troopers, and watching them do their sunbursts, I really fell in love with the troopers. And
And obviously the
they
Cabbies.
became my second most favorite drum corps, and the shows that they put on up until recent years, I just loved.
And then of course the Cavaliers. Your best of friends. There were 4 brothers that marched in the Cavaliers all together in '74, but all the brothers marched through different years in the early '70s with the Cabbies after leaving the Wawasee Warriors. So I'm sure Cabbies has a special place in your heart as well because of all your friends. So you did mention that you did the Wawasee Warriors as a parade, but where else did you march?
Well, my daughter got me involved again back in
2013 in the winter.
Right. It was
13-14.
Right. The winter of 2013.
Yep.
And 14. And she thought it'd be how cool it would be to march with my dad.
Yep.
So this was the first drum corps I ever marched a field show with.
Yep.
And the first year, I kind of had 2 left feet, not having marched in all these years since 81. And all my days of marching was bicycle step, but now today it's all military style. And so the first year, they didn't think I was quite ready to be on the field, but they allowed me to participate. They had about 6 or 7 parades that the Kilties did besides marching field shows. So they allowed me to march the parades and getting used to...
And coming to participate in like Horn Arc and like different drills and practices.
Yeah,
to
they
be
let
able
me
to get
practice
you back
with them, but I never really got to field show the first year. But I helped out, carried on props, did whatever. But then I really worked on it over the year, and then in 2015, the Kilties said, "I'm really amazed how well you've done," and they realized that I'm ready to march, I'm ready to be on the field. They could see how much I've improved over the past year. So between 15 and 16, I marched field show with the Kilties.
15, 16 field.
And the first year that I marched, we came in 3rd place in the A-class division of the senior corps. And being out there in retreat, I had tears in my eyes. My first time ever marching. You know, I've always wanted to march, or at least do 1 year, but I never did. My parents were more worried that I wasn't going to have a job, and I was going to be too busy touring and not working, but it worked out because the adults are on the weekends, and I can still have my job during the week. So I was able to do that. Yeah. And unfortunately, my parents are gone now, but they never got to see me in it. And I was...
Well, they sure did. They were looking down and they're like, "That's our Bob."
Yeah.
Right there. So, do you have a message to those who want to join, but they don't really feel like maybe they can? Because the thing is, one thing you guys may not know about the Patch Man is clearly there is no coat today. This is behind the scenes without the jacket, and I'm sure you wouldn't recognize him without it. But the Patch Man had a lot of challenges, not just to left feet his first year. He had to relearn how to play the trumpet completely from scratch due to many years of soda and so forth, unfortunately caused top and bottom dentures. And they're not the nice kind that get to pop in and click into your mouth. So the Patch Man had to relearn how to play the trumpet with top and bottom false teeth. And also, the Patch Man, as a young kid, unfortunately, his brother was screwing around and threw a firecracker too late and it blew up next to his ear. So now he wears hearing aids in both ears. And one ear is 80% and the other ear is 20%. So, what do you say to the kids that say, I can't do it? I'm not good enough.
So I would say to the kids, keep trying, because there is, if you can't make it with one drum corps, try another. But there is a group out there that you can belong to. Back when I first joined in 1975, there was over 400, and there was a drum corps on every street corner, and every kid was welcome to join, and they taught you, they trained you. Even if you didn't know how to read music, they taught you how to read music and how to march and do all that. And now, I would just say, keep trying. Find a group that, you may not be able to be at the top, but even the little guys, I love the little guys, if you can't be in a big one, maybe an A class to start with to get your experience.
Yes,
and
DCA is a wonderful place too. If you feel, to piggyback on what he said, if you also feel like, I don't have the big money for the summer tour and it's not worth it. I know unfortunately DCA is only kind of out east, but there are some East Corps that will house you for the summer if you are adamant enough to be a part of their group. Even though it is only on the weekends, the dues are far less and the experience is still there. Granted, you're not touring all week, but it still gives you the chance to learn, to experience everything so you can be ready for that full summer tour.
Yep.
Last but not least, what would you like to say to all the people who love the Patch Man? What do you want to say to your fans?
Well, I just want to say that I love drum corps. Every patch has a special meaning to me from beginning to end. And I used to wish drum corps would be year-round and never stop, but then...
We all do.
But then my friends made me realize, they have to practice and learn new shows each year instead of playing the same thing 24/7 year-round. So then
But then you started going to Winter Guard and indoor percussion and realized that it's, although the field show is not year-round, there's always activities, always things to do. So if you can't even march during the summer, there's also indoor brass groups, some places during the winter, and guard and percussion.
And the Snyders also got me interested in color guard in the wintertime. So it kind of filled the void between September and December, was like a break, and then from January 1 to April, I got to see color guards perform indoors, and I really got to loving that. And I started collecting patches from color guards, and now all the high schools are involved in it.
So you and I are naturally soprano players, but did you do anything else throughout your drum corps experience?
Well, there was, and my main was soprano, but one year I played baritone because they were short on the baritone, so I was able to play baritone for the Wawasee Warriors one year. And I also played mellophone one year. And so I played several of the different instruments.
Now, have you done any color guard?
I did snare drum for one summer. Even though I wasn't real good at it, I was okay. But a friend of mine that was a real good snare player, Jim Snyder, one of the Snyder boys, he helped me out, and I played with him the bicentennial year. And then that same year, we marched parade with the color guard, so I did the color guard for 1 year. And I can do a rifle and I can do a flag.
You also did Pioneer one summer. You did a couple parades with them. You did their alumni parade with a lot of alumni members, and you also did some honor guard stuff for them for a couple parades, correct?
Yes, I did that.
Just last summer, was it not?
Yeah.
Yep, just last summer. So, we wanted to thank you all for joining this video today. We want to give a shout out to Drum Corps International and appreciate Drum Corps International for sharing the one and only Patchman. Stay tuned, there will be a lot more stuff. You can go ahead and follow the Patchman on his fan page on Facebook, the DCI Patchman. Also, if you have any old patches from way back in the day, or if your drum corps never had a patch, he will pay you to have one made. And if you have any of those patches or pins or anything that you want him to put on his jacket, you can go ahead and send them to us. Just send a PM to the page, and I will go ahead and get that information from you. And again, if you want that stuff sent to you, we can also have a picture taken to show you it's been put on the jacket and autograph it. It's been really awesome talking to you guys. We hope your quarantine is going really well. Stay safe, stay healthy, follow the rules so we can all get back to doing drum corps.
And hope to see you next year. I just want to mention one other thing. The Governors, which is the senior drum corps from Minnesota, never sold patches at their souvenir table. But this woman, knowing I was marching with Kilties that year in 2015, and within 2 weeks after doing our home show, we went up to do their show, and she had a patch made especially for me. And nobody else could get a patch, and they all were dying. Even their own members of their own drum corps wanted a patch, and they couldn't get one. But she made one special for me.
We also want to give a shout out to Florida Brass. Thank you, Florida Brass, so much for sending the Patchman a patch. It is on his jacket, and it will be sewn on shortly. There are a lot of patches that are pinned on right now, but they're going to get sewn on. So the sooner you get them to him, he has a lot of downtime in quarantine. He can sew them on this year, so that way next year you can take a picture with the Patchman and your special patch.
Yep. So look for the Patchman. He's always there.
Always there. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks, Drum Corps.